This is Prophetic Peace. It's a storyboard, a story format, and it's similar to Wormwood. So this is the characters are an Asperger's attorney talking to my father, John Williams. My father, John Williams, is a respectable counselor. He had a master's in counseling. Yes, okay, here we go. John Williams says, "This is despicable." The attorney says, "Wait, let me look." "Ah, which one out of the hundreds of pages are you talking about?" John Williams says, "The whole damn thing. Looks like a war on U.S. soil against my daughter, Laura Kate." The Asperger's attorney has to turn away his head in shame. He can't even look at John. He cannot look at him. He gets up. He throws a memo in the trash, which was an impermissible amount to cross over in a negotiation, and he leaves the room. It's not even worth negotiating. The offer was never made. Why? John sits there and waits because he's been counseled in est work with Landmark. He knows there's a story behind people's actions. He's a counselor. Let's see. He's open to discussion. Mackenzie Bezos walks back in the room. She sits down in the chair. She looks at John. And she says, "John, I know you're so old. I know you're so old. And I'm so embarrassed here. But I've got to be real. We had an initiative. We drove it into the ground. I paid for a majority of it. That was John's heart. He wanted to get the story formatting of the story that was going on, the real story that we talk about in Est and Landmark. What's really going on here, you guys? Why? What's the real story?" Mackenzie gets up. She walks over to an open window. She closes a blind, and the shade goes down. She takes out a gun, and she shoots his heart out. And she leaves with not a remorse or a bat of an eye. No one saw her come in or exit. On video camera, the attorney never comes back through. That's how they do it. John Williams is in heaven. He's looking down on them, on you. And he says, "I forgive you. I forgive you." That man lived out his quest for truth. I remember the time. What a beautiful man, what a beautiful heart. It was documented abuse. There was no money that could pay it off. And he wanted to know the truth. That's what he wanted. He wanted to know why. He wanted to know the story. That someone could have had a breakthrough in Est so that we could work through it. He thought we could work through it because that's what we do in Est. We get off it. We get off it. We declare what's going on. We get off it. We forgive and we make a difference in the world. They weren't aware of that framework. But they weren't aware of that framework. He stood his ground in power. He stood his ground in authenticity. And in the end, he got to stand in heaven and peer down so graciously and say, I forgive you. I forgive her. I forgive her. This is Laura Kate.